Right, so now we're in the segment of rules. So I said, there's rules to this shit. So, what's your C on the rules, Divine? That's the question of the day. What's your C on the rules? You know, I think we were just doing the rules by osmosis. That's the truth. 'Cause I don't really remember any actually written rules. But I'll give you a scenario. I remember we were all building heads and showing improving, running our names through the build. And I don't know, we were doing it for years. I guess within the years somebody started, not as an individual, but as a group. I guess we went on to going through 120 now. We born in every word in 120. And in doing that, we come across the word devil. And spelled backwards is lived. And unless you're saying lived is frontwards and devil is backwards, and see how I could start going. So we was going through that, right? And we didn't have a problem with devil born in 7 because we knew the 600-year process made it a -7 because Yakub was going 600 degrees. Well, he was actually going 360 degrees. He was going for 360 degrees plus those 6 extra degrees put him in illusion. In the same time, he was going in the wrong direction, so it made him 720 degrees off. Of course, he went into illusion when he went to the next 6 degrees because he thought he was going past 360, able to go into the world of fleshless things. That's what he probably was trying to aim at, but if you're going in the negative, your number line switches. You know, zero's not really a number, it's 0. So you can move it to the other side in front of the 1 and then go to the negative. We do it in financing, right? You got paid 200, but you owe 300. It's still 100 in the negative. See what I'm saying? Now, once we got past that, then the guard said, there's rules to this shit. You supposed to born a law's word. If it's not a law's word, don't born it. Okay, we could live with that because the law's word is supreme mathematics, supreme alphabets. And so you can born your name because the whole start of is my name is divine understanding, born a law. So I'm gonna born that. Just the name itself, born, is a born. Because divine understanding does born all law. See? So the whole name is a born. That's how we were born in it. Our name born from when we born it, it borns when you say it. That's what took place. So yes, there is rules to this mathematical equation that we speak on, we show and prove who Allah is. At the end of the day, when you building and adding on and showing and proving, you on your square, taking your mathematics to wherever you want to take it, Lord. Earth, it's up to you. You have to put the stopping point because it's unlimited. And no limited amount of time. Right? No limited amount of time. That's how the lesson was born in it. And that within itself showed that there was order, there was rules and regulations. And like the guard said, yes, when we were in our district or our region, we all knew we were on the same page. You know, yes, we would go through the lessons that way. You know, and that's why I said that the rule was, what was the universal? The rule was, all right, when we was building, me and the guards was building, that my circle, I'm with them. We building because we learning this. We might go through 120. We did it all the time. We just go through the whole 120 like that. So he quote the first degree, the guard quote the second degree. We go on around till we get to, and it was enough of us to go at least. You might not even get to quote any out of the 1 to 10 if you're not in that front group. You have to go to the 1 to 36. Right? But we keep it going all the way around. You still be quoting it when somebody else is quoting it, because if anybody quoted wrong, we gonna know. Now, say if yours was different than mine, then you had to pull out your lesson. Then we said, well, you know, well, my lesson like this, and whatever. His was like that, this is that, was that. Who you got yours from, whatever. But most of the time in our area, we all pretty much had it the same, because we all got it in the same group of trees that traveled up into the firstborn, right? So we had it all pretty much the same, but there was always these discrepancies that was part of everybody had it the same but didn't have it the same. We already knew that, because depending on who exactly you got it from. But all of those different discrepancies was internal argument of the law, because now you can quote it, you can see those differences. Regular people don't see it. Only those that know and understand, they see those differences. But we knew that because the lesson had already said that we wasn't Muslim. We don't want to be Muslim sounding all like soldiers and exactly the same. It's not a religious organization, it's a nation. It has nothing to do with being religious or military or I yourself, so's the true reality, Son of Man, God. I yourself, so's the true reality, original woman, Earth. What? Mother Earth, and they all Gaia, that all that. The womb of the universe is the triple dog. Stop, man. We can just keep it going. But anyway, what I'm saying is that's correlating. The womb is like the womb of the universe, and the manifestations traveling through it. Through the womb to the physical realm. Right? The knowledge, the wisdom, and the understanding. So you can correlate it with a lot of things. Like you can switch it over. And you can correlate it with the man, the woman, and the child. That's the exact correlation. I hear the God said, understanding is not the babies. Like you could say that too. It's not. Understanding is the seed. It's like cream of the crop. But it does correlate with our babies are the cream of the crop. They, you want them to see you. They the understanding, because the knowledge and the understanding was alike. See, so the correlation is that. That's the correlation. See, you got to correlate. How do you navigate if you can't correlate your 120 with your mathematics and your alphabet? That's what you do. That's really where you're taking Allah's words and then you're looking at 120 through Allah's words, not through your own words. See, the Muslims had some words they used to look through at 120 too. Right? Didn't they have some form of mathematics like ours, but I think it only had like 7 degrees in it. And they had the alphabet thing. I don't know if they had the alphabet, but they definitely had some kind of math with words that correlated with letters and numbers. They had that. But the Father gave us, we have. See, Allah gave us something they didn't have. They had supreme wisdom, not 120. They did not have 120. They had supreme wisdom. That's a fact. Supreme wisdom, 120. You say, oh, 120 came from supreme wisdom. That's true. Your children come from you too. But they not you. They self. That's a fact. They are, yeah, they you too, but they self. You see? That's how it manifested itself. Because a lot happened in the planet from the time of 34 to 64. The people in the original nations, not totally, not 4,400,000,000, but a 5% of that population is fully awakened. It's on its own. It's autonomic now. It's like a virus. It was a Trojan horse, and now it's a virus. It's been released. And knowledge itself is prevalent. You can't stop it from being developed, no matter what level of knowledge itself they're on or what group you're in. It doesn't matter. You could be a Christian and let it infiltrate there too. It needs to, the virus needs to get in there the most, because that's where our biggest population of our people are at in America, are in the Christian churches. So it needs to be assimilated. They need to be assimilated into knowledge itself. I don't care how you look at it. They need it too. They can't be sitting over there worshiping the white people and thinking that white people is God. Because at the end of the day, their psychology shows and proves that's what they teach. Their whole manifestation is that, and you're in it. You're part of it. And so I don't care how much you say crack or whatever. You be submitting to them still. Doesn't matter. They know you are. They could tell that you're under their shit, because you down with their shit. They back down from saying that someone who has knowledge of self is going to be subordinate to them. Not willingly. You're going to have more force than they're able to repel for that to come across. You think not? That's why part of knowledge of self is you must, and I emphasize must, so you know that if you're in the elder bracket and you didn't get a chance to do that part because you didn't know those lessons, that's not what the lessons are for. The lessons are so you pass it forward so that your genetic code can undo the 1555. The whole thing is about undoing the 1555. The indoctrination period, 1492 to 1555. 1555, you have POWs. They incorporate the POW camp from 1865 to pretty much 1555. Right? From 1555 to 1865. The Europeans used the POW camps on the original people, indigenous inhabitants of the planet, when they say the colonizer, the colonizer colonized the planet Earth, coming from the poor part to the rich part of the planet Earth, right? So once you cross the 30th, I want to say parallel, the horizontal line, imaginary line, encircling the Earth at 30 degrees north and 30 degrees south, and you got tropical Capricorn, tropical Cancer, and then you have the equator in the middle of that. All of that part going all the way around all the way around. That's the rich part of the planet Earth. All the monuments, everything that's high powered is in those 30-degree rims from there to there, going ever, right? And in Antarctica, you have the same artifacts. All right? Monuments, this, that, and the third, whatever the case may be. All right? Well, that makes me think about when I say that they are telling you, oh, it's the North Pole is this, and it's getting it's getting warmer. But the studies that we have been receiving and the information that's been coming to our sources, see, we got independent sources now, so it's not like it was before. We really have stepped away from the devil. We don't use his sources. And our sources say that the whole solar system is moving through a period in the galaxy where it's warming up. The 4 seasons of the galaxy, you just seen us, we're in the cusp of the Piscean to the Aquarian era. 2,083.33 years up to 2,600 years, depending on the flux and the ebb and flow of the universe in our particular part of the galaxy, right? And that's the sun is traveling through. You're in the solar system. We're all going through that. So now we're in that era. That's happening. It takes about a C note to get all the way through. So we're in the cusp, but you don't usually get to see that because look how long it takes to get to one. At the end of the day, even if you said 2,000, hey, which one of you living to be 2,000? Only way you can do that is you do your genetic code, some shit like they did with Dune, and make sure that your line is known and you lock it down that way. But to do that, you have to do a law 360, and we're not doing that right now. We need to do it, but we're fighting against doing it, because every time we see something that tells us to do that, we go against it like we don't want to do that, you know? So anyway, he said, what is a law 360? A law 360 is a lesson that teaches you how to pretty much, a long story short, unprogram yourself from 1555. All that programming that he's imprinted on your DNA, you can wipe it right out. You can, and with the information that we know now that they were teaching then in the lesson in 360 and in the problem book, it was both in there, because at the end of the day, once you acknowledge yourself and now you know what happened, you have to undo it. The lessons show you how to undo it. But you got to be willing. See, now you get into the culture of it. And the food for the original people is the culture. The culture of their way of how they develop themselves and what they do with their life is still, food has a lot to do with it, because your DNA reads and reconfigures, updates, all of that. It does that with the food. What do you think it's using? It's using some kind of food source that you give it to do things. Now, you can let it do things that are And it's not hard if you just go after the shit that really appeals to you and not what you've been trained to appeal to, but you might have to be retrained. That's why you have 360 and How to Eat to Live, book 1 and book 2, and we added other stuff to it. This is going back, like I'm saying. When I got it, this is what we were saying. This is what we had. We had the degrees that was showing everything that swine was in, the chemical names of it, that we shouldn't eat things that come out of boxes. That came from the devil. Any live grafted germ from original is devil. He's grafting the fruit. We knew that. What? We wasn't doing that? Yes, we was. We was on it. And then I guess we got older and got families and slacked up. Not all of us, but some of us did. Maybe economics slowed us down a little on it. Maybe we would have went and bought those little tiny bananas that were closest to the old school, and if you could find some that. I mean, nowadays you could do it. You could find the kind with the seeds in it that they're real bananas, like from nature, not these Chiquita and all these motherfuckers that made their own banana. It's not those kind, dude. Yes, the original people was manipulating the plants, but not going in and splicing and doing genetic modifications. Not that way. Through selective breeding, the seeds was never destroyed. They're killing the seed before it. See, they like that kind of non-productive shit. Clones. Almost all the fruit that they use that doesn't have seeds, how do you think they're growing them? They're cloning them. They're clones, son. From a seed. That's all I'm saying. You can eat it if you want to, but now at least you know that any live grafted germ from original is devil, and those are definitely grafted. They're way past genetic manipulation through selective breeding. That's not what they did with those plants that they have, that they're feeding the people on Earth. No, they're not. Now, some stuff might or might not harm you. We haven't done tests on those yet. We didn't really get anything back on that. The most things that we got damaged doing the physical composition from the Europeans who believe in freedom, justice, and equality, we get a lot of influence. Both sides, remember. 70% of them is down with destruction and 30% aren't. Well, the 30% that aren't, that can get in those circles that only they can get in because you got to go through the pink nipple test. So you can pass for white all you want. But when it goes down to the end of the degree and they go do the pink nipple test, and I'm not saying some of us can pass for that too, because we got some people that got, but that's not who they identify with. There's Europeans with 12% Asiatic blood in them. And vice versa. But who do they identify with? There's Asiatics right now that got 90%, 80% Asiatic blood in them, but they identify with the European. They're on his side, they're potential agent. So you have to see it from the matrix perspective too. You have to look at that and say to yourself, anything goes. If it goes down and it happens right away, what happens? What do I do? Am I able to adjust? You have to make an adjustment, right? That's what the mathematics of the alphabet do. It enables you to make an adjustment. You can, because you already have 120. You can swap anything in and out because you got the math to look at it with. The 120 is the history that shows you what's going on so they can't fool you. And you can read between the lines with it. But when you're actually looking at a book and you're reading it and you see different words, you see them from your math. When you open up the book and you look at it, even if it says the religion of the stars, right? And if you look at that and you see religion, you automatically gonna know what a religion is. And then you're gonna know what the stars are. So you're gonna see that degree in your own head. You're definitely gonna know that you're not a religion and that they are. Even if you didn't know anything else, you're gonna say, oh well, that's a religious organization. And I would imagine that the way that the wording was, their religion is based on the stars. So it could be astronomy, ancient astronomy, whatever they were using. I'm just making the point is, people know what they're in. They just don't know that it isn't right and exact, or that it is. If it's right and exact, they're gonna know. But if it's not right and exact and they're in it, you telling them that it's not right and exact doesn't fix them. That's not how you fix them. You have to give them the information that is knowledge of self, not ridicule where they're at. They're not gonna understand what you're doing then. But if you show them the proof of, you don't have to say it here, read that. You need to look at that. Check this out. Do this. Information, feed the people information so they can have something else to add on to the data. Now, once they accept that the information and all that is right, now, with children, it's different. Children, somebody among them it's plugged in. And then they're going to show their friends. Believe that. That's how the Father did. We got knowledge of self from our friends. Who wasn't nobody on no soapbox or in the stage and then drawing us in. None of that was going down. We was getting it word of mouth, hand to hand. It was like that, like a virus. Your friend usually knows it. So nowadays it's like the family. You get it from like we got it. But most was our family members giving it to us. Yo, check this out. No, son, listen, stand on your square. No earth, stand on your square. So he's using the language. You know, come here, queen, come here. Talking to us that way instead of talking to in the language of the slave master. Slave master put you in a prisoner of war camp and made you call him slave master. But it was really a prisoner of war camp. We've been at war. This is a war. It's a 6,000-year war. Now we're in the war Armageddon. All right? That started in 1914. It's on and popping. You gotta hear these idiots running around talking about, oh, I don't know why it's so crazy. I do. Because we're in the war Armageddon. They've been said it. You just don't listen. See, they're so caught up in being led by the devil that they don't even know that they're in. They'll deny it with you. They'll tell you, no, we're not. Divine don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I keep thinking I don't know what I'm talking about. Dude, it's a mathematical equation that can be proven without a shadow of a doubt. Even your Jehovah Witnesses know 1914 marked the end of the devil's civilization. It got to start somewhere. That was the end right there.